Welcome to the Floor Academy podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Hadeen, owner of Illustrious Hardwoods in Mesa, Arizona. Joining me this week is Brittany Murphy with One Thing Marketing in Kentucky. And we're going to be discussing how to hold your marketing agency accountable. You can hang out online and be in Facebook groups or, go hang out on Instagram or TikTok or any of these places. And if you're running a company, you're inevitably going to get somebody coming into your inbox unsolicited and saying, hey, it looks like you could use some marketing. Are you interested? I want to sell you something. You should pay me money. I want to help you grow your company. I can get you more clients. Or you can hang out in plenty of the Facebook groups where many of us have met, and you're going to see somebody say, I'm looking for 10 contractors that can that can take 10 more leads a month or want to double their leads this month. And I don't trust any of those people because none of them are showing me how to do it or why to do it, or that they have any proven track record of helping somebody actually gain revenue or increasing the amount of leads you get, and then that person successfully converting said leads, or that they're getting quality leads. And so we're going to look at what kind of things you need to know so that you can hold a marketing agency accountable to actually deliver you results. And so you can have a conversation with them on a monthly, bi-weekly basis saying, what is it that you're actually doing for me? How are you doing that? Where are the numbers showing me that this is actually working? And so we're going to dive into that in a minute. We'll have Brittany introduce herself, and we'll get into all of this, and then you can go and grow your business and hopefully attain more clients and actually get a marketing firm that does marketing successfully, as opposed to probably just trying to steal a piece of your pie. And we all know on the show, I don't like sharing my pie with anybody. That's my pie. So you better be getting me more pie if I'm going to share it with you. Why are we here? Floor Academy is your source weekly so that you can grow your business. We are having the business side discussions because you can't just work in your business, having that 12-inch view of what a floor looks like while you put it in or working on that shower. You need to step back. You need to get into the office. You need to sit down at the desk, and you need to work on that back end side so that you can truly grow it, make sure that it's running properly, be profitable, come up with the systems that are going to hold employees accountable, all that fun stuff. We're here weekly talking about it so you can take the little golden nuggets, start applying them. And there are many ways that you can find us. Go subscribe on YouTube. We're up over 250 subscribers now. I need 1,000. And then, that's when things really start happening over there. Help me out. Go sign into your Google account. Go to the YouTube, type in Floor Academy, click subscribe, and help me out there. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe on whatever your favorite listening platform is. Leave a review. It helps bump me up in the ratings and helps me be seen by more people. And, if you're not first, you're last, according to Ricky Bobby. And I'm not first when you type in like floor sometime or tile, and I want to be first. So leave a review, and that'll help push me up those rankings so that when somebody goes looking for a podcast related to what we do, I'm it. And then that helps you because I'll have more exposure to have more people help me find amazing guests, and we all win. You can help support the show over at patreon.com/Floor Academy. Even $5 a month goes a long way in helping continue make all of this stuff happen. We are thankful to all of our sponsors, Johns Manville International Services Event, IQ Power Tools, and Chronosoft. It is almost showtime. When this comes out, we are just over a month away. And so you need to head over to intlsurfaceevent.com. You're going to go register for surfaces. You're going to put in promo code Kyle. You're going to get a free exhibition pass because of it. And then on the money you saved on the exhibition pass, you're going to go register for the Wednesday morning Pulse seminar called Flip Your Org Chart Upside Down. And I'm going to be talking about how by changing how we look at our org chart, it will dramatically change how you communicate in your company, and it will improve efficiency and make people just a lot happier and feel way more respected. God, Gosh, that's a lot. One more thing. I'm sorry. All right. I'm not sorry. You know what? This is how we pay the bills around here. So I'm not sorry. Are you looking for an easy and affordable way to manage your business? Cronus Flooring Software is your solution to streamline your workflow for managing leads, inventory, and scheduling installations. It includes every feature needed to support your business at a very affordable price. It is extremely user-friendly and easy to navigate. Full integration with QuickBooks makes tracking your profitability as easy as clicking a button. Visit Cronosoft.com today to schedule a demo. That's KRONUSSOFT.com. Let them know I sent you over. That would be mighty kind of you. There's a link in the show notes if you missed it. Click on that, get the demo. If you need a CRM, if you're trying to make your business more manageable because you got too many projects going on, you can't keep track, you have no job costing going on, this is going to help you do all of that. And then it integrates with QuickBooks. And so it's going to make your business run a little bit more seamlessly. And that's what we're all after. More free time instead of fighting all of these systems and all these different things so that we're not getting anything done. That's enough out of me. I am ready to hear from Brittany. So, Brittany, who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it?
Well, first off, I'm hungry for pie because you said that way too much. And secondly, I just want to say, I always laugh. We get those same marketing emails every single day. People don't even look to see who they're emailing and blasting those out to. And funny enough, if you all ever check back your email, it always comes from a Gmail, which is not suspicious at all and seems very legitimate when a gmail.com email address reaches out to you about how they can help you.
Hey, I take offense to that. I didn't register Floor Academy with an email address. I just have the website.
Well, you're not telling me I do my job. So there is the difference in that. But thank you so much for having me, Kyle. My name is Brittany Murphy. I am the marketing director for One Thing Marketing, and we specialize in helping guys in the trade focus on what they do best and let us handle their marketing so they can get even more and better leads to grow their business. We're very much so focused on the trades, as I said. So flooring is definitely one of those trades that we love to help because there's all the various aspects of it, and it always starts with the homeowner usually. So that's one of the things we really kind of focus on is making sure that the home buyer's journey is something that our contractors are focusing on. So that way they can close the guys that they want to and just focus on growing it versus where the hell is my next lead going to come from?
I love that you specialize in the trades, and I love that you're focused on the residential market. And then you specifically said the homeowner's journey, which I am huge on storytelling. And so that is how I try and market. And the fact that you're building that in, like this is great because we'll be on the same page about a lot of stuff. And so it's being able to show somebody how you're going to make their life better and how they can relate to a similar situation as opposed to, classic advertising from contractor online is special this month, $1.99, or
yes,
I install flooring, call me. Guys and gals, that's not going to work for you. Like we need to tell a story. We need to show somebody what problem we solve. And then we're going to be able to actually get them to call us so that we can fix said problem because we've shown that we're an expert there. So love that.
And as I told Kyle before we began this, my dad actually was a pipe fitter for over 30 years. He's retired now, but that's kind of where my background and love for the trades really grew from and why I'd rather specialize in marketing versus being on a scaffold. Putting plumbing above my head, that's not what I'm good at, not what I was made for. But that's kind of the fun part about everything that we're doing within this is we really understand what that more local business is going through. My dad's company was doing great. We were doing great. When it wasn't doing great, we weren't doing great. It's a complete equal on how the business is doing and kind of how you feel about it. So knowing what we know, we're able to help, yes, jam-pack contractors with knowledge of, hey, what are you doing that is going to be telling the story of why they should choose you versus the 10 other flooring stores we're going to drive by to see yours.
Okay. And so with that comes, again, the pitch is always, well, your website sucks and here's why. And, your post isn't being interacted with and I can fix that. Where do we even start in what questions do we need to be asking a marketing company as we interview them? Because that's folks, we have to look at this as we're interviewing them to come work for us. Whether you're paying them, they're an independent company, but if you were hiring an employee, you would do an interview and you would make sure that they were going to be a good fit for you. So how do we even start to find out if the marketing company is going to be a good fit for us? What are we doing to try and vet them?
Yes, I love that. And I'm just going to go ahead and begin this with it is going to be difficult because a little bit of what you get is more the salesperson you're talking to, and their job is to obviously close you. So it is sometimes overpromise and under delivering, which we all hate. At least in my company, I'd rather light most of them on fire when they do shit like that because it's awful because it makes a bad reputation for the rest of us who give realistic expectations of what should happen from your marketing based on your competition level and how much you're spending on it. So to begin, when you are interviewing any of these marketing companies, one is to understand exactly what can and should they do for you, because the idea of what they should be coming with is how are they going to integrate into your business. So that's a huge spectrum for most businesses. Some want them to be 100% doing everything for them because they don't have the in-office staff to take some things off their plate. And other companies are really saying, hey, we're already doing a lot of this, but we want someone to drive to the end goal. Like we need to we're on the 1 yard line. We need to actually cross the goal line. We're just not there yet. And something's not hitting it with us. So, really drilling them on where do they see themselves fitting in and what they can do for you is just the first and foremost, like let them have the floor. Because one thing I always joke about is you can always catch a salesperson. So if they are just talking themselves into the wall and it does not make sense, as in like they didn't even look at your website, just go ahead and nicely say that your cat's throwing up and you need to get off the phone and just hang up with those guys. That's one aspect of it. But the biggest thing I would say is every marketing company nowadays has no excuse that they can't track everything that they're doing and the results of what they're working on. And you mentioned a CRM system as well, correct? Is that what I heard earlier?
Yes.
And that's one thing you want to make sure your marketing company is pushing you to get on as much as possible, because the other aspect of what I see a marketing company doing, and it's how my ideology is I know what I'm good at, and I know I can drive traffic to your website. I can drive prospective leads. I can drive homeowners who are interested in replacing, repairing, installation, any type of home remodeling they're looking for. However, if what happens after they get to you, they call you, they submit that contact form, if it's not a seamless journey, then that's something A, your marketing company should be bringing up to you. And B, that should be something you're working back with them, because these two things have to go hand in hand, our marketing and our sales. So if marketing is doing a good job driving leads, but your sales guys are blowing it, or Nancy who answers the phone is just not having a good day and it shows in her voice, it's going to be hard to close the clients that are coming to you in those aspects of it. So it's just a few things to kind of drill them on just initially. And I'm sure hopefully that's probably something you're thinking about right now, Kyle, is who does answer our phones? What is the process we have going on? And is that what a home buyer wants to be going through when they're doing any type of huge remodeling for their residential home?
Well, I think what I'm picking up is that, again, so you're going to drive me leads, right? I'm going to go hire One Thing Marketing. You're going to start driving leads over to me. And if I don't know what to do with them, then I'm going to come back eventually and I'm going to say, hey, your marketing's not working. So again, having that CRM, I think, is super important because we need to track where everything's coming from. If you're not asking people as one of the first questions, hey, thanks, Illustrious Hardwoods, this is Kyle, how can I help you? This is, Suze, and I'm looking to get a floor. Oh, I'd love to help you. How'd you hear about us, right? That needs to be one of the first things out of your mouth. And then you need to be keeping track. Was it Facebook? Was it a neighbor? Was it a referral? Was it that they saw your truck, a yard sign? What was it that got them to reach out to you? Obviously, if it's coming through the website, I hope that you would be working with the company and it's coming from a specific landing page, or the form has some kind of a tag on it that gets linked into the back end of the CRM that way. And you can start seeing that, it wasn't a page that you made, it was a page that the marketing company made for you. And now we have something that becomes trackable. And so where are you coming at from that? Is it are you building out specific pages? Are we getting special phone numbers? Are we using like a text message service? What is it that we, you're saying that it needs to be trackable, and it's on us to track it, but what are you setting up on your side to also help make that happen?
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the tools I love to talk about is CallRail. So that's a call tracking service in which you will get different phone numbers based on how many different avenues you're looking to get leads into. And that's kind of where that initially is going to help. So like that helps track. Did they come from the website? Did they come from your Google business page? Did they come from social media? Are you running a print ad? Are you running radio, TV? All of those things you can do call tracking with. What I love, and they're all great, but what I love about CallRail is like we can give clients access to this. And I highly recommend them. Hey, like at least once a month, go in and spot check. Make sure Nancy's not saying some rude things or saying, no, we don't do that, because she's, again, having a bad day. Quiet quitting is a real thing, and you just want to make sure that everybody's actually playing their part in this and they don't get laid off because the business is going down. They're getting laid off because they're not performing. You as a business owner can go more eagle eye view on this and kind of see if there's any problems, if how they're talking to them is not answering the questions appropriately to keep that homeowner happy and moving forward in the sales process. Something I do love to kind of give a lot of contractors as a trick is there are so many areas in which you can market. Sometimes it is very, very hard to track the first attribution of where that lead came from. So did they see a truck? Did they see a billboard? Did they see your Facebook ad? And although it's coming through as a website call, as an SEO person, I don't want to take credit for something that's not something that we did. And that's why we want to track everything you're doing, because we do know that people do bounce around. It takes 7 to 9 touches at least for someone to potentially call you. And that's kind of like the average based on where they are in their buying journey. And so when it comes down to that, what I love is if you are going to do some of these outside methods, is have a crazy coupon, so have 11% off your first order, 12%, like these weird numbers that no one says are not even, it's not, 5, 10, 15, 20, it's random numbers because if you are trying to go towards people who maybe want the budget, then the coupon's the way to go. And that could be where even, I have guys in roofing, HVAC, plumbing, like they just end up including that price in. So even though it says 11% off, it's still calculated in there. You're still not paying for it. So they don't lose a huge margin. But you can track, someone will call to remember it was 11% off my first initial order of over 4,000 square feet. They will call with those offers and you can go, oh, okay, I know that one is exactly from our radio commercial versus TV because TV's 12, radio was 11. You can kind of use those numbers to kind of help you track back with it. And there's a million amazing services, CRM things out there. And just as you said, just asking initially where you found them from is great. But you do want to have this kind of second landing of this is actually what the system's saying they're coming from as well. Because I'll be honest, I asked that from everybody who talks to us. And I actually had one person say, oh, I saw your billboard. Kyle, we've never had a freaking billboard. But that was what they thought. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, you sure it wasn't from like this or that? No. I could have sworn I saw you on a billboard somewhere. And I was like, all right, great. Well, I'm going to put check one for a billboard we've never bought.
Hey,
so as much as you can ask in person, it's never going to be perfect. So actually putting something of value. And so basically you're giving them an offer that they're going to be acting on. And that's the kind of the point of marketing. One's for branding, visibility. That's an aspect of marketing. That's great. You want your name out there. You want to be known in your city or your area. The part of marketing I focus on more is actually getting that client or prospect to become a client, getting them to call you, like you showing up when you need to show up. So although I don't focus on billboards and TV and radio, those are great things you can be doing. I focus more on when they're ready to take action because they know they're remodeling their home and they know they need to redo the entire 4,000 square foot of their first floor home to be all the same type of flooring. They're going to be just going most likely straight to Google and typing in keywords for flooring near me, flooring Phoenix. I'm not going to say the flooring city I'm in because we already talked about my accent. They're going to be going through those prospects. So if you have other means outside of that, put a special offer that makes them want to convert to calling you from that. Because unfortunately, none of these things are getting cheaper. Billboards, TV, radio, they're not getting any less expensive with time. So you need to make sure you're pulling as much value as you can out of those. And even though I'm a digital marketer, I do see benefit of having different types of funnels of marketing. So that's why I would rather you have these little tricks and tips and coupons and offers that are different and unique for each outlet. So that way, when the person ends up calling, with more accuracy what they're calling from, because that offer would relate 100% to where they actually found you.
The phone system you mentioned, it's going to offer you multiple phone numbers, I'm assuming, but all of them ring the main line that you want.
Yes.
And then you get a report of, hey, 5 came from this one, which is linked to the billboard, and 10 came from this one, which is linked to TV. Yep. And then but it also gives you the ability to listen in, is what I was gathering. So you can do checks on your staff to see how they are actually doing it, and then you can give coaching and feedback of getting back to them. If it's just you, look, you don't need that feature. I get it. And a lot of us are owner operators, are very small, and we're doing all the sales. However, for a bigger retailer, definitely something that's going to be really, really handy to get in there. And that's the stuff that you don't realize is you think that you've trained your salespeople really well, and then you listen to them do it, and you hear both sides of the conversation. Like, you totally missed X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, a thing like CallRail is not that expensive. So even as we were putting your budget together for the platforms you're going to be on, that might be $200 for the year. That's well worth it, because maybe right now you're the one answering the phone. So the whole quality assurance thing isn't there for you. Mm-hmm. But if you're spending your time or any money on different marketing channels, get something like that and put into place, because hey, I'm maybe only spending $1,000 a month on the local radio channel, but you can 100% know if you ever got a call from radio to know, wow, I can save myself $12,000 by just stopping this, because I've gotten 2 phone calls out of it, and both of them were a wrong number looking for a guy named Larry. You can point back to what's working and what's not working with it. And that's kind of where the exciting part about marketing now is there's so many new AI and platforms coming out that are a lot more user friendly and allowing you to get this information out of your business. It's really going to help propel you on what you need to be doing moving forward. Because if we are small, the thing you and I can agree on, Kyle, is we don't want to just waste and blow money.
Yes.
We want to make sure it's working. We want to make sure we're actually getting something out of it. And that's why I would push you to do something like that, to really see how your hard-earned dollars are going and what they're being used towards. But at the very basis, if you do work with a marketing company, there is no reason they can't add something like this for you, because even just a simple number on your website, it rotates for us. So we know the difference between someone directly typing your business name in versus organically finding you because they typed in flooring company near me. And even that little bit of nuance is very valuable, because we know who people came from knowing you already versus prospects who did not know you were in existence, but did a search and found you that way, and even kind of rolling that into what you're doing elsewhere. So, I say there's no excuses. There really is no excuses, though, for not tracking what you're doing. And, as you grow, you're going to want things like that already in place. So when you hire on the next person, whoever's, going to be doing the next task internally for you, you can check back, because this is your business. You need to own what's going on and know and be aware of things not going to how they are to your quality, because that's what you built this business off of, is what made you passionate to do a good job with it. Don't let someone else ruin that.
Yeah, for sure. What with a website, Brittany, there's all kinds of numbers, right? And so again, I know enough to be dangerous to myself. And I think people want to talk about bounce rate all the time. They want to talk about page views. What metrics do we need to actually know and review with our marketing company as we go through this, so that we know we're getting results? Because I think a lot of times people will be like, well, I got you 10,000 impressions, whether it's for, your ad was shown on Google, or it was, a Facebook post or something. Impressions are a vanity metric, and they mean absolutely nothing, because it's people interacting with it that actually matters. And so at least for the website for right now, I don't want to dig into social media yet. What metrics do we need to actually look at and have enough information on to say, hey, you promised me this and this isn't happening?
Yeah. And bird's eye view, let me begin with what metrics matter for us the most is how many phone calls and contact form submissions you're getting. At the end of the day, That's actually how many people are taking action off your website. So that's like the end big goal we look for as far as that. The rest of them are kind of hard. And what I say by that, not to just give excuses to any marketer, is, for example, bounce rate may be high, but bounce rates when they land on your homepage, then go right back off. They could be just looking for your phone number. So people who are current clients, repeat clients, they might just already know who you are, go find that phone number, and then click off the website because they don't need to go through much else. That's hard where bounce metrics can look bad, but also if you see in your Google Analytics, most of the people who visit your website are return clients because you maybe have like a product showcase on there and you're asking them to go back to check out and make sure, what style they want. And maybe you have a lot of resources to pick out like how wide the plank should be, how long it should be, different styles, what it looks like in the home. You might be sending them back to your website a lot to look at that. And that could help obviously lower bounce rate. But if they're just going to call because they're like, oh, I figured out what it was. Shit, what was my rep's number? Go call and kind of get back to them. That could kind of mess that up. The biggest thing I would just kind of say looking for is I love to see what funnels are people coming into for your website, which doesn't relate to the website, but just one thing to kind of look at when you see your analytics is what funnels are bringing them into the website. And from those funnels, which pages are they spending the most time on? Because you can actually tell which pages are converting prospects into clients. And that's kind of where you do get into the weeds of it a little bit, but you'll actually get to see, hey, we need to create more content like this, or we need to add more before and afters, more galleries, because most of our people come from the gallery are going to our contact form and calling us from there, or they're leaving after here because they saw our phone number up top, called it, closed it out. To me, as I know you mentioned, Kyle, impressions it's just a metric, just like on social media, it's how many people potentially saw what you had does not mean anyone took action from that. So in a grand scheme as a marketer, I would say impressions really don't matter. However, in the bird's eye view, we just want to see that impression number is going up. I'm not going to hone in on it specifically, but I do just want to see with time and trends, it is going up. That would mean more eyeballs are showing your website or seeing your website because Google is showing your website more because they see the relevance of your site and what people are typing in via keywords. So those things do matter the most. But what I kind of like to see is what pages are they spending the most time on? So for example, our team page gets the most traffic of any of our pages. And I've learned from talking to prospects, hey, if you checked us out and like, oh yeah, I looked at your website. I'm like, okay. Some of them have mentioned team, and a follow-up question they give to me is, okay, I see your team, it seems like you're local, and we are a boutique style firm. So we don't have more than 10 employees. And they said, so after we buy from you, you don't like ship us over to India, do you? We're like, no, that's why we put our team page up. So you can see like, you're going to get a designated rep. Like you're going to have someone who's dedicated to you and you're going to know that person. And the only time you shouldn't know that person is if you sell the company and the next person takes over and it's their job to learn who the account manager is for their business, but knowing that that's an average page people look at for us, I have in my own sales process to say, hey, just so you know, we are a local firm. We're just like you. We want things to go well because if you're happy, we're happy and we grow. We're not, sending all this off to only $3 an hour employees in India and, across the world. Like that's just not what we're about, to basically sell you for high dollar and then give you to someone else to do all the work for us. And that gives them a sigh of relief where I only knew that A, by asking, but B, seeing our own website analytics to say, 50% of all of our visitors are going to check that out. And given that could be people spamming me to get my email address to say they, we should be doing marketing, but you can use that information to help make decisions better.
I'm actually impressed that like 50% of people go and visit that page because it is buried on your page. There's not like a thing at the top to just easily click on it. I had to go grab some information off of it before we started today, and you have to scroll all the way to the bottom, and then you have to click on like about us, and then you have to click on about our team, and then you can click on you got to work to get to that. And so the fact that they're, people are doing work to find it that says a lot. So apparently everything else is really working to make them want to be interested in the people that are going to be performing the work for them.
Yeah. And to answer the question as well, like, you can put like a heat map on your website, and that would also tell you how your website's doing. So for example, I know you said you have to work for it to find a little bit about our team. I hate that you said it that way, But the real reason we move that towards the bottom is kind of like how retail works. The most important stuff people want to know, we put towards the back a little bit. So they're
Hmm.
going through to seeing case studies and testimonials and videos and reasons why they should choose us. And then, here's our team.
Hmm.
Here's who you'd be working with. So we're basically getting them to see more things we want them to see because we know that helps their buying process.
Yeah.
Every person most likely that's invested in marketing has bought from someone who gave them shitty results, and they hate thinking of having to spend more money into it, knowing it might not work for them. And so we kind of want to show you all the evidence while you're trying to find that as well. And if you do click off anything, you can find team pretty easily. But like, we know what we need you to see to understand what we're about. And through that process, you will learn about us. But, even our concept of what we know contractors want, they do want to know who they're working with, because they do want someone maybe with an accent like me, to work with, to kind of help them build their strategy. But they want to know for sure that we're going to stand by what we say we're doing. And that's
Hmm.
the little tidbits information we want to give throughout the website. So that's another good thing you could do to your website. Put a heat map on it, see where people are clicking, where they're going. And if they're only like barely scrolling before they go off, well, maybe what you're first presenting them with is not what they're interested in, nor what they want to see to make a decision to go further. So the analytics, the heat maps, all those can really go together to basically show your marketing company and or your marketing company to bring to you to say, hey, we need to change these things up because this is what we're seeing is going on. And we could probably get a better conversion metric. Should we reorder
Hmm.
these things or change how this is?
Well, if the company's not willing to do that for you, right? You start asking them these questions and they're like, no, no, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. That is not the company you want, because they're
Yeah, no.
immediately not telling. This is great advice. You should be able to figure out what is working for you, not just pay money and say, I hope it works. So this is how you're going to actually be able to see if it's working. If you can find out what pages are working, what parts of a page are working, then you can duplicate that content, recreate it on other pages about other product offerings, and continue to have that messaging connect with the potential client on the other side of the screen. So I love that. I think that's all great advice on how we can actually look at it. And while we'll revisit the impressions here. And so, yeah, they are kind of important. And I like that you said, like, I want to make sure they're going up. And so every month, those should be increasing as long as your marketing is working. And then if you can continue to increase your ad spend, yes, the impressions should go up. But I would hope that as we build out the website, engagement across the website continues to go up as well. So if I'm going to spend more and I'm going to get more impressions, then I better see more clicks, right? I don't want to see
Yes.
more impressions and I'm spending more money to get them. However, I'm still only getting 300 interactions per post or something like that.
Yeah.
There was a time when I was getting, I could look and I was like, oh, look, I got 30,000 impressions over the weekend, just Saturday and Sunday on all the posts that I, spammed across 50 different Facebook community groups.
Hmm.
But what mattered was how many people messaged me and how many people clicked through, left a comment, something like that. And it would be, probably, what is it, 1%, right? I was getting like 300 interactions or something on it.
Yeah.
But if I could do that, I knew that if I could get 30,000 impressions with like a 1% actual like interaction rate, I was going to get enough phone calls that week to continue to keep my schedule booked out. If I wasn't doing that, then something about the way I presented that ad was wrong. And so
Yep.
there's you have to do a little bit of work on your side. This isn't all going to just magically plop in your lap because you started paying a marketing company. They're just going to do what you paid them to do. And then if you don't go to hold them accountable, they're just going to keep taking your money. And that's where I
Yeah.
think a lot of contractors end up is they just keep paying and they're like, well, the phone's kind of ringing more, I think. So we'll just keep doing it. And you have no idea. You have to step back and take the time to get on the phone and schedule something with them. If you finish a project early on a Wednesday, then and that's going to happen, then that's you're setting that phone call up 2-3 days in advance, trying to make it happen. Schedule it 3 weeks out, whatever you got to do to make it
Hmm.
happen so that you can actually take the time to do it. And if you can get your marketing actually working, I bet that you're going to be able to close more deals at a higher value, that you taking a day off to handle marketing is no longer going to hurt your pocket. Before we continue, I'm going to interrupt this here real quick. We got a quick word from Johns Manville. I can't talk. I'm sorry. I got a dry mouth, folks. Zero entry, curbless, ADA compliant. All these words describe a shower pan style that is both luxurious and accessible for every person. GoBoard Point Drain was designed with this in mind. The low profile features and adjustable riser perfectly enable a zero entry installation. Whether you install mud pans or use GoBoard wedges, the integrated membrane keeps water securely flowing in the right direction, down the drain. Visit www.jm.com/GoBoard to discover the possibilities. Again, link in the show notes. Go check it out. Click on all of them. Go visit all the sponsors. Make sure you check out GoBoard between their really lenient warranty system, which is super flexible and beneficial to you. They've got the new size board that isn't 3x5. It's like 4x, I don't know. It fits tub surrounds really, really well. I forget the exact dimensions. 30 by 60 maybe. So it's like 2.5 by 5. I forget. Forgive me. And what else do they got? You know, they got the wedges and they got a pan now. They got all kinds of good stuff. So check them out, use them, love their support. Go support the companies that are supporting us so you can continue to get the information you want. Brittany, we are back and we're talking about the website. I think we've kind of hit everything there. If not, then I'm happy to jump back into it. Otherwise, let's dig in a little bit to social media and find out. Again, I think people are always looking at, you know, the companies tell them they should boost their post or you should pay over here, or there's a lot of advice, and I don't know that any of it is useful or quality. And where do we even start in that landscape? Because I think that's where we're inundated the most by people claiming to be marketers. And honestly, I can go start a new Instagram account right now and call it Fly By Night Marketing, and I'll just start telling people that I can, you know, grow their business. And now I'm a marketer, let alone how many. No offense to the Gen Z kids out there, but just because you graduated high school and have 5,000 followers doesn't make you a marketer.
It doesn't.
Some of you are probably good at it, but most of you, you know, you got really lucky. And so where do we even begin in this landscape? Because it's just a hot mess and anybody can portray themselves as something online, and it's sometimes hard to verify that they are who they say they are.
Yeah, and social media, just like the website when we were talking about it. So the only thing I did want to touch back on with that, because it is relevant to social media, the only reason that your impressions could go down, and for a good reason, is if what you're doing is seasonal. So with flooring, probably not as seasonal as like my roofing, my HVAC businesses. Like they are obviously spiking when the temperature changes, and they are mellowing out as it is nice 60 degrees outside, no rain, no tornadoes, and no one needs anything fixed. So if you're more in flooring and knowing that people are doing remodeling all the time, you know, obviously there might be a bigger kick in the spring, you know, the holidays might not be your biggest time, but, you know, always think about seasonality. If things should change, that could be what would impact your impressions.
Okay.
But going back to what this marketing company should be doing for you is they should be split testing the hell out of anything you're doing on this. You know, I don't focus solely on social media, but there are easy ways that you can split test anything you're trying to do. So if you are running an ad, you know, you're actually having 3 different versions of types of ads to see, are people going to want to follow you? Are they more into a video? Should you maybe just have an ebook, you know, on like how to price out your flooring, you know, what type of flooring should you purchase for your home remodel? You know, like little quick ebooks, you know, even like a checklist, you know, things you need to do before you get your flooring installed, you know, just whatever you can think of that's a free download so you can nurture them afterwards with, you know, maybe like a little email sequence. You know, you want to be testing to see which one of those 3 ad styles is working the best for you. And not to say you cut out the 2 and only spend all of it on the one. you need to replace the two with something else that you need to be thinking what could work better than that. And I say you need to be thinking, really, I say your marketing company should be thinking about, because I love that you mentioned, Kyle, hey, if you know a couple of days ahead of time that you have some free time, reach out to your marketing company. I love that, because I would say the biggest problem that I would come on the other side to kind of bitch about to some of my clients is they're so hard to get a hold of. And I completely understand. My dad, I mean, back then it was a beeper, so it's not like you could really get a hold of him pretty easily. Anyways, he almost missed on our own birth because he had a beeper and it wasn't working in the basement, of this, large commercial building he was in. So it should be a lot easier today. We're basically have phones in our hands at all time. We're trying to get some simple answers from our contractors to do the next thing for them, to make sure we're working on the right plan and strategy. And sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get someone to say yes or no. Hey, have you added solar to your business yet? Crickets. So it should not be hard for you to get a hold of your marketing company. And if it is, you need to switch immediately, because all we ask for from our company is to please, for the love of God, talk to us. Like when we reach out to you, it's for a purpose. It's for a reason. Like I like talking, but I don't like talking just to talk. I want to get some shit done when we do have this conversation. I want to make sure you're doing good, check in on you. But really, hey, we called because A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We go through the list. We don't want to waste your time. We want to get in and out of it so we can get back to work, and you're not paying for us to dilly daddle all day long. So kind of going, I know, sorry, it was my little platform I wanted to stand on for a hot minute.
I think it's great, right? You have to be able to hold us accountable as much as we need to hold you accountable. And it's true. Contractors get a bad rap, but personally, I believe stereotypes exist for a reason. Like they wouldn't exist if they weren't generally true. So it becomes this thing of they're horrible at communication and they don't follow through on things. And then you're over here, they've paid you money and they've said, I need a website designed. You say, cool, I need you to deliver X, Y, and Z to me. And then you never get it. And so this website is stuck in perpetual hell of development, going nowhere. And then they're wondering, why aren't you doing anything for me? They'll call you up 3 months later and they start yelling, well, because you never delivered me anything. And I sent you 15 emails and you ignored every single one. Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay. So
we got really busy on a project. That's usually the entry you get back, which again, as I said, like we completely understand it, but that's kind of where be aware as much as possible. Your marketing company can only do as much as you allow them to do. And if you are the one holding them back, then at the end of the day, that comes out of your wallet because they got paid. As you said, they are using a piece of your pie to do something with. The less you can interact with them, the less they can do with it. However, they should be reaching out to you. So as long as you do a decent job of answering your phone, you're able to have these conversations. Because going back to the aspect of social media and impressions and testing and tweaking is the thing at the end of the day is, are they bringing ideas to you and are you two communicating through to actually brainstorm what could work for the business? So like, we reach out to our clients monthly. Not all of them take us up on the call, but we do force you to sit down with us quarterly, so we can make sure we're on the same track of what we should be doing with it. And honestly, at those quarterly meetings, we're trying to ask, hey, any new offers of what you're trying to, get out to clients? Are you seeing anything stick? Some of them are offering and really honing on free financing. Like, hey, is that helping you sign up some more people because you offered that and you're very upfront about it? They say, oh my God, yeah, this is really turning the way for us. Even with the economy right now, people are knowing that they can't buy new, so they want to replace what they have and they don't want to put on the credit card. So we offer this and, they're like, this is great. And we're like, okay, great. Like, this is the feedback we want to know because this would change what we're trying to push on your website. If we're doing your social media, then that's something that needs to be focused on more because you're seeing it in real time close clients for you. And that's the feedback that you need to give your marketing company. And your marketing company's job is to use that information and take it to the next step for you. So what I love during those quarterly calls is getting just kind of the feedback of how business is going. And we're bringing, oh, okay, so is that working? They're like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. I was like, all right, any reason we can't market that harder or more for you? No, I guess not. Okay. We just want to make sure we're in between the lines, but we want to push the lines as much as possible. And that's kind of where, your marketing company's job, 40 hours, at least a day while they're in the office minimum, is all we're doing is looking at marketing. We're seeing what other people are doing. We're seeing the results of what they're doing. We're testing what other people are doing. We're the best source of ideas possible. And you want to have that relationship with your marketing company where you can maybe ask about ideas, but they should be bringing those to your plate as often as you all meet. So therefore, they're, hey, we saw this. Are you interested in it? Hey, I know you don't want pricing on your website, but you did mention last month that some people are calling thinking that they can get LVP for only 99, cents a
Mm-hmm.
square foot. And you're like, that's ridiculous for the type of shit I sell. I sell luxury. Like, that's just not
Yeah.
possible. Then why don't we put that information on there? Not to say that people won't call because not everybody's going to look this up, but like, why not put that there? So the homeowner has more of a expectation of what they're walking into versus a surprise. And, this could be if you're the first person they call and they're completely shocked by it. But if homeowners are doing their research like we're seeing they are doing, they are going to Google. The keyword search volume for some of these words are in the hundreds of thousands each month for trades, flooring, remodeling,
Mm-hmm.
construction, hundreds of thousands of searches each month just in the US for those type of keywords. So people are doing it. So if they're looking out there and they're not seeing what they want, they're going to skip by you. And that's why we want as a marketing company to give you those ideas of, hey, well, your competitors are doing this, or, ooh, we saw this and we like it. We're homeowners. Like this would sell us. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of why the fun part of us not being in your industry is we can tell you what sells us. I mean, I've been a homeowner for almost a decade and I've replaced almost every living thing in my house, whether by choice or by
Uh-huh.
just necessity. And I know what my buying journey has been like through all those guys. And that's kind of where like half of my call is clients. And I don't say my last name when I'm trying to go through the sales process because they'll know it's me. By the end of it, I'm like, hey, by the way, this is Brittany. Like I sold you your website. And they're like, oh, hey, hey, good to hear from you. I was like, hey, just let you know, when Nancy answered the phone the first time, she was kind of a bitch, I can tell them that feedback. And that's kind of where you need to have someone who's willing to be in your corner and maybe say the things that are blunt that you don't want to hear, but you need to know them as a business owner. Nancy's not answering the phone appropriately. I would have hung up had you not been a client of mine and I wanted to give you the feedback and also get a quote from you for my floors.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what you should be expecting from them. And given this all reflects back on what you're paying them. I mean, that's kind of a easy dissection of it. The more you're paying a company, the more they should be looking into this for you. If you're paying guys 500, 700 bucks a month and it's a national company and you get a cookie cutter website, don't expect that.
Yes.
You're just paid for the bare minimum. They're getting some things off your plate that you can't do, which is fine. But if you're actually looking, again, take that next step. And if this is getting more competitive of an environment because of the economy, then you need more of a marketing partner who's going to be thinking futuristically for you and really we're focused on trades. So we know exactly what the industries are doing all across the US that we can give you that information because what's working for flooring could also be working for roofing and vice versa. And you can take those ideas and trade them between the industries because again, the end buyer is a homeowner, unless you're we're talking commercial, but even them, they're going to go through a process to buy. So it all makes sense to have all those steps in place. And you want to make sure your marketing company is helping see at what stage in the process are they falling off. So, that goes to the social media analytics, the website analytics, and then a little bit about the sales process as well. They are literally hand in hand, your sales and marketing on that side. And sorry, I went off a little bit of a tangent there.
No, because it's going to go back to, earlier you mentioned that, okay, we need to be split testing stuff and there was clearly, it wasn't said, but I picked up that you were going to be collecting email addresses. So
yes.
No matter what was going to happen through that ad campaign, through social media or the website or any, somehow you're making them have, there's a squeeze page and they have to give you contact information. That then is going into a CRM, I hope. And some type of campaign is being developed by you as well as to further nurture that they reached out and they got your tip book on what to look for when hiring a flooring contractor, or, they got your tip book on how to decide between laminate or luxury vinyl plank, or what's the difference between natural stone and porcelain tile. Like they're now in the system. They've downloaded some kind of information from you. And so now, 24 hours later, they're getting hit up of, hey, I hope you enjoyed that. Here's something else. Did you consider this? We'd love to hear from you. Give us a call. 7 days later, they're getting something. A month later, they're getting something. And then every month after that, they get something. Whatever the process is. But the company has gone and developed out. I love getting the phone calls from, I don't know, it's got to happen at least once a week, if not 3 times a week of, it's some guy in a call center from a foreign country, and he's telling me that he can get me ranked number one on Google with landing pages, and I'm just like, cool, man. That's great. And what else are you going to do for me? Because that's not doing, it's doing something, but it's not doing everything I need, right? And they can't ever tell me what other parts of the process that they're going to add other than we're going to build you a landing page and it's going to get ranked number one on Google. One, I don't believe you, and two, there's more than that needs to happen, and they don't have the answers for me. And I'm just like, all right, so obviously this is you just wanting to get a credit card that you can charge a bunch of money on.
Yes. And unfortunately, there's a lot of those guys where it's such a low monthly fee. It feels so good. And at least you feel like you're taking the next step. I've had people I worked with. I'm like, hey, you mentioned you're doing this extra $2.99 a month charge. Do you know what's that for? No, no clue. I think I signed up for like 3 or 5 years ago. I was like, okay. So you realize how much money you've lost over these, 3 to 5 years. I mean, that $10,000 to $15,000 on just you don't know what it is to go to. So yes, I mean that's kind of where you want to be weary. And when you're looking at a budget to start with a marketing company, there's obviously guys out there that might be a one-man shop. They can give you great pricing, like in the hundreds, for what they can potentially do and still do phenomenal work with it. They don't have a lot of clients, so they can dedicate time to you. Most likely those guys will grow eventually. So their budget to get with them is going to be bigger, or, you're going to be expecting less because they're going to be paying more people to kind of help them get that work done. But most people should be paying a couple $1,000 a month when it kind of comes to a really legitimate marketing company. And if you are spending that amount, that is 100% when you can come back to them and say, all right, so what else should we be doing? And they should have ideas already at the helm for you. If not, that was not the next thing on their agenda. And that's kind of where I always say in the very beginning with our contractors is, we're going to be blunt. We're going to tell you what we think. We're competitive. We want to win. Like, we want your website to beat out everybody. Like, everybody else in your city is an enemy of the state to us now. Like, once you sign up with us, that's how we feel about it. We need to make sure you feel the same way and you're willing to help us be proactive with the things we're thinking about doing. So if we throw out an idea and you don't like it, that's okay. Help us refine it. Help us figure out a different way to kind of go about it. But the thing is, we don't want to just stay where we're at doing what we're doing. And, even as a marketing company, we're actively always growing in what we want to be taking on. So I bitch a lot about the sales process, and that's something that we've been trying to coach on. But now we're making it to where if you do work with us long term, you can't get out of that conversation with us because it is, hand and fist as far as how these two things work together. And I have corrected too many contractors on Nancy answering the phone incorrectly or the fact they're not answering the phone correctly. So no matter what you spend marketing dollars on, it's not going to work because you're not doing the first step correct to make sure you're converting these leads as much and as easily as possible.
Your stuff may actually be working, but if I'm not doing what I need to do on my side, and that is something that contractors need to work on more, is we have to learn better sales skills. We have to know how to pitch an idea, sell a story, and get Mrs. Jones on. We have to provide her dream and make it come true. And if we're not able to do that, doesn't matter. Will you inevitably close more deals? Yes, because you're getting more phone calls. But the whole point of getting more phone calls was to close way more deals. Is there anything that kind of goes in correlation? Obviously, you can get somebody that's going to just make you a website and maintain it, and that might run, $100, $150 a month. To, I could probably hire you and give you a $25,000 a month budget, and you're going to make my phone blow up. Now, can I handle that? No. But is there an expected rate of return that, should I be 10xing any money that I invest? Should I 20x it? Is there some kind of general rule of thumb that if I'm putting in the money, I should hold the company accountable between you're doing what you said you were going to do, I'm doing what I said we were going to do, we have the numbers, and yet the results aren't happening?
Yeah. I mean, as far as what we've seen with our guys is usually in the first year, they get about 200% return. Now, this is going to be very based on industry and where you're located, but this
Hmm.
is when everything kind of coming together, what we want to see. And then usually we can get our guys 30% each year, year over year, moving forward. It's only going to get harder. So the game always gets harder for us, which is why after we've been with someone for 4 or 5 years, they start to, say, "Oh, you got this. Like, we don't need to meet. Like, things are going great. We need to focus on answering the phone calls. Let's just bypass this meeting." And it's like, no,
Hmm.
like our job gets harder the longer you are with us because we just need to continue driving results. So if we're not doing this active talking and communication with you and brainstorming, then it would stay stagnant and then you won't be happy with us. So we had the foresight to know what we need on that relationship to go with it. But with most of your marketing, I'll kind of put into two buckets. So things that are going to be more long term, which would be like your website SEO, ranking, and that type of Google proximity. So when they type in the keywords, they can find you. That's going to take a lot longer. I mean, I tell guys it could be between 6 to 18 months to where you really see yourself finally showing up on the first page for your city
Hmm.
and starting to get calls from there. And the longer you wait, the more I'm going to tell you it's going to lean more towards the year to 18 months down the road because there's so many people in the game. And the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. And that's when I started, was
Yes.
10 years ago. And we were able to rank a healthcare provider for Medicaid and beat out like Humana. I mean, we're based in Louisville, and so Humana is here, and that was where we had a company doing it. But and
Okay.
everyone was like, "That's fantastic! You must be amazing." I was like, "Well, we are good." But to be very honest, it's also because they started at the right time doing this before these other guys realized we need to put money into SEO, not just ads.
Hmm.
So those are things that are going to take a lot longer, but they're going to have the highest ROI for you as you move forward. Because once your website's on the first page, I mean, you can get as many calls as people who are searching that month for it for the same set price. It's different when we look at ads. So Google LSA ads, PPC, the map pack ads, even social media meta ads, those are going to get more expensive as the bigger you try to reach and the more you want to do with it. But it also kind of comes down to you have to be just as active with those to make sure you are, again, converting the leads that you're spending this money on.
Hmm.
But that can happen, as you said, you could put $25,000 into your ads and your phone's going to be ringing overnight. And that's an amazing thing, but that's not always the case in the way we want to, go down just because it wouldn't be advantageous for our business. And what I like to say is those ads, they can be maybe 2 to 3 fold as far as what they can give you,
Hmm.
given that's based on industry and competition level, because like my roofers might pay $100 a lead and
Okay.
it takes them 10 to convert. So, that's $1,000 for someone to be your lead might not work for flooring. And at certain times, most of the ads programs, how they work is it's kind of like an eBay bidding system. So as the more guys in your area are bidding on these keywords within Google, the price is going to go up for you. So you will notice you might hit your ad spend a lot quicker with it.
Hmm.
But the goal is you want to see at least a 20% conversion on what you're doing with those. If you're doing less than that, you're going to be doing a lot of testing. And that's kind of where, even if you put the money with ads immediately, the phone will ring, but it is something you need to watch because you should be making changes and adjustments to these ads to make sure that they're working for you. The only one you don't have to do that with would be LSA. That's basically your Google business listing for Google
Hmm.
guaranteed ads showing up. And you are just selecting your category, saying which zip codes and services you offer. And that's it. Google writes all the copy for you. You
Okay.
have, nothing you can add to it personally to help yourself stick out even further. But regular pay-per-click PPC ads, you can change the call number, the statement on it, everything, the call to action, and you would want to play and adjust with that to see what's going to get people to actually click on it the most. So although you might see a lot less conversion with your ads than you would your website ranking organically, it is that nice diet pill that can help you rank quicker. So therefore, you're getting the leads coming through, and you're
Hmm.
continuing to put a bucket of money into things like your website, your SEO, email campaigns, your review marketing process to continue to kind of do the things organically that people are using as a buying decision and something that's going to help nurture them because they are getting contacted by you periodically. And when they go to check on you, they can see 100 5-star reviews. Their trust level is rising with you as well in relation to that. Hopefully that kind of helps answer that question.
Yeah, no, and I like that, you put out there the longer you've worked with somebody, the more important the conversation becomes. And that's just great business advice regardless. Like if you are going to sit there and rest on your laurels and take a break and say, well, we're the dominant player in the industry, go look at any dominant company that sat there and said, well, we're the dominant player, we're going to stop innovating. We're gonna not
Yes.
work on our messaging anymore. We're not going to worry about how to train people better, become more efficient. They're not around anymore. It doesn't work. So that's
Yeah.
just great advice all around. And then to know, I can start getting phone calls immediately, and I should expect some kind of return on it. It's good that you guys are averaging 200%. And I think that's the other important thing that you brought up was being able to track what a lead costs. If I'm having 10 people click and it's costing me $100 a click, but I'm only converting one of them, then knowing that it cost me $1,000 to get that person closed, what is that actually, how much do I need to be charging that client? Because if it's $1,000 and then they only give me $1,000 project, that doesn't work. I need a
Yeah.
$1,000 project to be, a $20,000 project maybe, so that the budget's even there to be profitable enough to afford that advertising. And
Absolutely.
I think it's partially your responsibility to keep track of some of that stuff, and then it's partially my responsibility to keep track of numbers on my side, and we got to put the two together and figure out what this thing really costs. Again, there has to be communication, and this is one of the conversations you should be having with them, and that's what's not happening. Is it's, well, I paid them, and again, I think my phone's ringing. If take the time to actually know what's going on, folks. You have to sit down. You have to have the conversation, and it's a conversation that I think we should be having with homeowners. We should be having with other businesses in our areas, and it's what struggles are you having with me? And then they should be asking, what struggles are you having with us? And you sit there and you go back and forth and you figure out how to make all of this work and improve the relationship to get better so that it's stronger and more fruitful for everybody. Brittany, is there anything we didn't hit on that's like super important and we need to make sure we mention?
Yes, I do have one example of something I would love to touch on
Okay.
because I actually talked to somebody this week and it broke my heart. So I just kind of want to share this concept with everybody in hopes that they learn from his lesson. One thing you should also expect of your marketing company is that you own all of the assets of what they
Oh,
put
yes.
together for you. Hand over fist, these are yours. Your website, your.com, the content, the images, everything should be yours because at the end of the day, you paid for a service. You did not pay for their proprietary marketing platform, website coding, and all the stuff belongs to us bullshit. So the quick example to understand what I mean by this is my websites aren't cheap. I know this. I try to provide as much quality and actionable steps within this to just make sure that they warrant the price. I provide value, just like you all listening provide value to your homeowners, and that's why you can charge what you charge. I talked to someone who wanted initially a lower website price, and they ended up partnering with a national company. They had a little bit lower website price than mine, but they caught them on a $600 a month fee moving forward forever. And so they told me this. They said, hey, you could skip over the website proposal part of your strategy. I already partnered with someone. You said theirs looks good enough. I'll just use you for SEO. And I said, okay, well, can we just dive into it real quick? I'm just curious, like, you know, what's it cost? I was like, just if you would be honest with me, I just love to know a little bit more about it to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that I can continue my conversation on with you appropriately. And he said, well, they were $2,000 less than you. But I do have a management fee from them. And I said, okay, well, what's included in management? No idea. I said, okay, so what are you paying for management? $600 a month. I said, okay. Well, I opened up the main website of this company. I said, well, here's someone on their case studies page and the website's down. So if this is someone paying $600 a month, you need to reach out to them and ask what that $600 a month is for. And secondly, you also need to ask them, should you choose not to want to pay $600 a month anymore because you're working with us and we'll move over your hosting and everything else, that's $200 a month or a year
Mm-hmm.
versus a month. What would happen? He said, oh, well, they said all of it would stay with them. I said, so basically what you're telling me is after 3 months, working with them. My website's now cheaper and you own all of it. He said, yeah, you're right. But I
Hmm.
already signed up with them, so I'm stuck. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm not going to yell at you more than that. But the lesson I want everyone listening here to take today is you need to ask and do your due diligence, just as if you were a home buyer buying your first home. Like, what's included, what's not included. I'm like, if you look at buying land, you're asking, do all the rights of this land come with me, or is
Yeah.
it going to stay with the past owner? These are all things that a lot of companies are able to offer a lot cheaper pricing, but the fine print, just like on, all of the drug ads, may cause death. You may lose everything that's yours. We may come in and hack it and steal everything and proprietary emails that are yours. Like there's
Hmm.
a lot of fine lines what they can do. So just make sure whoever you are partnering with, again, you are paying them to provide a service, not keep their shit afterwards. It is yours. It has your name on it. These are your pictures. And this is all information about your business. So make sure you're partnering with someone that at the end of the agreement, and you have paid them, because I'll back up any marketing company. If you steal money from them, they don't really owe you anything. We work really hard. Just
Hmm.
like you don't want a flooring person to come in, take a down payment, and then never show up to actually install the floors. We understand both sides of it. So if you have paid up, if you have done everything on your end, and at the end of that service agreement, they say, oh, sorry, we can't give you the logins. Like, that's all of ours. Breathe. Maybe I'll go punch them in the face for you, because that's just awful to have to the feel for you. But do that due diligence before you sign up with them. Make sure you understand what you're going into, because certain things like websites don't need maintenance agreements afterwards. Unless you are changing the website every single week because you're adding new products to it, you're
Hmm.
changing the pricing of the products, and you don't have anybody internally to do that. That's great. Get someone on a maintenance package to help you make those changes. But if it's a website that's just going to sit and it's not going to really be touched or do anything to, what the hell are you paying them for? To stare at it? Because there's nothing they're actively doing on it. So just know what you're buying, and just, do that due diligence, that if you are paying for cheaperness, that can be okay. There are some good marketing companies out there who can provide quality and value at a cheaper price because of how they do business. But you just need to do more research, just like you
Hmm.
need to do research in these big companies who may be doing the same thing, but again, will also own your information at the end of it. There are people on both ends of the spectrum that do steal all of your assets. And I mean, they will take your .com away from you. So when they get the logins, will change
Oh.
everything about it to the owner of that marketing company's business. So I've had many a fight where we've gone to attorneys, and or we've just basically talked enough technical language to these companies to say they bought this in 2001. There's no way in hell, John Smith, the owner of your company, bought this for him 5 years ago. It's his. You all changed the name. We're willing to go to lawyers about this. You need to give
Hmm.
them this back immediately. And they do, because no one wants to have to go through that type of process. They know they're going to lose it. But that's the extent to which some, unfortunately, marketing companies will do to basically keep you forever. Is they say you will lose this, everything will be gone. Oh, it was just all wasted money. Those kind of put that fear
Hmm.
mongering in you to stay. If they're shit, if they're not performing, go. It would be way better to start with a new domain, a new website, and everything, knowing that you have people who are actually fighting for you and have your back when it comes to marketing. But again, there's good people out there, but just do that research, do that due diligence to make sure that you own it. It is yours. I don't plan on starting a flooring company. I love flooring. I could look at it all day, but it's just not what I'm good at. And that's not what
Yeah.
I'm going to start a business in. So I don't need to own your flooring website, and nor should your marketing company.
Great advice. I love that, because if I can't take it with me, then that's a huge expense of, well, you charge me
Yes.
$5,000, and now the next company's going to charge me $5,000, and the next company's going to charge me $5,000. I just need, and then it's constantly changing, right? The messaging, the marketing, the design of it, and then clients are seeing it and they're like, there's no consistency. So
Yes.
absolutely great point to close this all out is make sure you get to keep your stuff that you've paid for. Where can people find you? How do they find Brittany at One Thing Marketing and say, I want a website, I want you to do my pay-per-click, whatever it is that they want you to do?
Absolutely. Easiest way would be going to check out our website, onethingmarketing.net. There is a button in the right top corner that says book a free strategy session. So if you like what I had to say, you'd like for me to rant about your website, what could be fixed with it, and or make up a marketing game plan for you, you can go ahead and book on my calendar there, and I would love to talk with you there. If you want to do a little more research or you are a solopreneur and want to do some things yourself, please still go to our website, onethingmarketing.net. And there is a free ebook download that you can even steal my email nurture sequence off of and see how I would suggest you reach out to people multiple times after they download your free ebook. But outside of me harassing you via email, it has the 9 top digital tips you should be focusing on. And if you do have a marketing company, download our ebook and question them on everything that's in it just to make sure they're doing that. And if they're not, you can have them do it. And if they're going to never do it, then you can call me and I'd be happy to talk to you about helping you with that too.
I love it. And then look, if you don't want to get look, she's giving you the free information. She's giving away the keys to the kingdom. You're going to be able to do it yourself or hold somebody accountable to do it. And all you got to do is click the unsubscribe button. It's an email address. Let alone, you don't even have to click unsubscribe. If you don't have multiple email addresses in this day and age, I don't know what you're doing, because you should have one that's made just to sign up for stuff. And then it just, all the nonsense continues to go there. So you get what you want out of it as you need it. But you're going to be so impressed that you're going to want to call her. I know that, because she's given it.
And our ebook's so good, we have marketing companies download it too to steal it. So get it before it's gone.
There you go. I appreciate your time, Brittany. Thank you for joining us and, giving us insights on how we can better communicate with our marketing companies, hold them accountable for what it is that we're paying for, and knowing what we should be getting out of the transactions so we can grow our company successfully and make it easier and not a struggle, and, hope that that money we're putting out there comes back more than what we threw out. And so it's been an absolutely great conversation, and I would hope that we could have another one in the future about something else. I'm sure we can come up with something.
Oh yeah. Anyone, please comment ideas or questions you have related to marketing, and Kyle and I will hash it out next time.
Yes, we're happy to do that. We can add her to the group if you want to, make some comments in the group. We can get her added on Facebook, and you can go bother her directly there, and then just, we'll have some conversations and see what we want to develop and make happen. I'm sure there's some great conversations to be had about ebooks that could be created for contracting businesses or basic campaigns to keep people engaged. And these are the conversations we should be having anyways in the Facebook group about, hey, I'm doing this or I'm doing that. And share these resources with each other, folks. Are you really worried about the dude down the street having a book that's going to help convert more people and educate them? If they're educated and they don't like what he has to say, and you come in with a little bit better education, you might win that client anyways. But no matter what, people are getting educated and you're raising the bar in your area. But chances are you're probably not even going to work with somebody that's in the same market as you, and you're going to be helping somebody else in a different market, and we're just making the industry better as a whole. So it's easier to have the masses create content as opposed to trying to do it all yourself. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. And so if we pool our resources together, we can all grow our companies a lot more successfully. Get in the Facebook group, come hang out, and we will make some magic happen.
Will do. Thank you so much for having me, Kyle. I'd had fun.
You're welcome. Glad to have you. All right. We've got a couple messages here. Listeners, it's not even nearing. It is show season. We are like a month out at this point. And so Surfaces is returning to Las Vegas January 24th through the 26th. Mark your calendars now, buy the plane ticket, book the hotel room. You're not going if you don't. We've been having this conversation for months. Just come. You know it's going to be a good time. You can get that free exhibition pass by using promo code Kyle. That's KYLE. So whether you're an installer, retailer, distributor, or serve in another capacity within our industry, attending TICE is a solid resource to expand your knowledge and networking base. That's my favorite part about it, is all the people that I get to go and have conversations with. It's like I get to see all of my favorite people in one place once a year. Even though it's Vegas, it's okay because all my favorite people are there. So I can survive Vegas because all of my favorite people. And then I get to have amazing conversations, and I learn so many things that I get to bring back and implement into my business. You can also learn about the newest and industry-leading products coming to market. Stay up to date with the International Surfaces event page on Facebook, or visit intlsurfaceevent.com. And lastly, you know the grind, the dust, the rain, the the cold. We do too. We're IQ Power Tools, born from the sweat and grit of two Masons who knew there had to be a better way. We're not just making tools, we're elevating the whole damn game. From our hands to yours, our story is your story. So let's cut the dust, not the ambition. Can't wait to meet you where it all happens, the job site. For more information on IQ Power Tools and their products, check out the link in the show notes. And again, if you're not hooked up with one of their vacuums, go get a vacuum. It's going to help you. If you're still using a shop vac to grind floors and you have like a dust deputy hooked up or some kind of cyclonic dust filter, you're not meeting the OSHA requirement. And I know a lot of us just do residential work, but you know what? OSHA's got your best interests at heart. You do not want to get silicosis and not be able to breathe. So get a vacuum that can properly handle dust extraction and prevent you from breathing in the silica dust. And that's going to be the IQ vac. And it's super reasonably priced. And if you're not making your money back with it, you're doing something wrong. You can do dustless tile removal with it. And right there, one project will pay for that bad boy. So go check that out. Make sure you check out the website, flooracademypod.com. Go to the file section. If you are struggling to figure out what you should be charging, which is one of the questions everyone's always asking, how much should I charge? You're going to go to the file section. You're going to download the business budget calculator, and it's going to help you figure out your day rate. If you have employees, there is a labor burden calculator on it so that you know what you should be charging per man hour for your employees so that you can be profitable. And again, if you want to help support the show, go to patreon.com/Floor Academy, $5 a month. If you're not getting $60 in value out of this show, again, reach out to me. Like, we will do some one-on-one time and I will make sure you get $60 worth of value. But I know there's thousands of dollars of value built into the show from the past 4 years. Guaranteed. If you can't find thousands of dollars in revenue through the past 4 years of episodes, you're not listening closely enough. Come at me. Leave me some hate comments for that. I'm not even worried about it, audience. I'm really not. All right. I think that'll do it for us this week. Again, Brittany, thank you so much for joining us. I truly appreciate your time and the conversation. And everybody, we will catch you next week.